over here and see all these big buildings, and it's sort of the same effect, the skyline,
in our little surrounding area.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. You know, the special effects in that film were amazing because this was 56 years ago, and they didn't have the technology.
He shouldn't say that, should he? No.
Well,
it's true.
It was some years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. As an actress, it must have been tough relating to, wires and cables and things.
Well, it wasn't wires and cables so much. It was just imagination. I think the only real thing that I had to work with was a big hand. And I would stand on the stage and they'd put the fingers around me and cinch me up tight, and then some crew members would go at the other end of that hand. It had a long steel bar in it, and they would, like a teeter-totter, they'd press that down, and I'd go up in the air, and they'd photograph me. But every time I moved, the fingers would loosen. And so most of the time I was trying to stay in rather than get away from him.
It was really kind of a sexy film too. I thought too. And in fact, in case you forget, some babe. Take a look at the. My thoughts exactly. Now, when they approached you for this, were they forthcoming about what would be happening? Did you know exactly what was going to be involved?
No, I didn't exactly. A wonderful producer, the man whose idea it was to make it, I had worked with before, and he asked me to come to the studio, and he said, well, Fay, you're going to have the tallest, darkest leading man in Hollywood. And I had just before that come to know Cary Grant. It was before his name was Cary Grant. I had worked in a play with him in New York.
His name Archie something? Was it?
Archie Leach. Not a very pretty name. No. But I called him Cary always. So when this man spoke to me about the tall, dark one, I thought, oh, he's found out about Cary Grant. He knows he's coming to Hollywood, and I'm going to get to work with him. Yeah, but of course, it didn't turn out that way. He
neglected to mention the hair on the back. I think that would have given it away.
Yes.
On the other hand, is that the play on words it sounds like, or does that mean something else?
It certainly is, and I think it's good, don't you?
I love it. It's a great story.
It suits me very well. I don't think any other lady in the world would want to use that particularly, but I love it because it has two meanings, Yeah. There's another hand. He had me in his hand so much, but I had to say that there's something else. There was another hand that I viewed things from.
You write a letter to Kong in this book, which was a nice touch, I thought.
Well, I felt I owed him that, too. Where he lives on Skull Island, Did you know he lives there?
Yes, I know the zip code even, yeah. I'm very familiar with it.
If I had known that, I could have written him directly, but I had to do an open letter because I didn't know the zip code.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any of the sequels or the remakes? Or?
No.
And you know it's going to be colorized. How do you feel about that?
Well, color, I don't know. I have no right to say because I shouldn't judge until I've seen. Yeah. But I don't know when I'm going to see.
Well, now let's talk about some other leading men, because you have appeared with, you mentioned Cary Grant. I have a couple of pictures here that might be interesting to show. Let's see. Oh, this fellow is, well, you just are a charming-looking lady. Take a look. This is Gary Cooper.
He was
Ms.
nice,
Ray.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. What was he like?
Well, he was just as beautiful and handsome as he looks there. But he was very laid back and sleepy a lot.
You mean literally?
Literally sleepy. He had the capacity, which I think is wonderful, to be so relaxed that he could fall asleep in between scenes. He would sit in the director's chair and just fall asleep.
Guillaume dozed during a couple of commercials, I noticed. It was only briefly, though, Robert, and I shouldn't have pointed that out. I apologize for that. Oh, well, that's kind of I suppose that saved his energy, sure.
I think so.
Yeah. Mr. von Stroheim.
Well.
Eric von Stroheim.
Do you
remember what film this is?
They probably don't know. The Wedding March.
Okay, I was wondering if you
I remember.
Yeah. I just thought
I remember. It was the first big film I did. Yes.
And he seemed to be a very tough guy, was he?
Yes, he was supposed to be very, very difficult and imperious, and he wasn't. He was some of the time because he was a perfectionist and he had to have things just right. But I respected that. But he could be very gentle too, and he was always advertised as the man you love to hate.
Yeah, he played some.
But he did a lovely thing one day when my mother twisted her ankle and was in great pain. It was he who went and got water and hot water. You're supposed to use cold now, but then...
Well, he was mean, remember?
Well, he certainly
so he
meant to help
Mom's
her.
feet for you.
And he knelt down there and he bathed her foot. And I thought, oh, my goodness, what a lovely human being.
Do you have any discovery, or how were you, do you have a good discovery story? I don't know, there were a lot of stories that came out of Hollywood of women, you know, Lana Turner.
No, nothing dramatic like Lana Turner, but no, I think I would say Erich von Stroheim. If there was a discovery of me, it was by him. So I went to the studio to talk to him about doing this film, and it was an extraordinarily wonderful meeting. I felt that we had a rapport immediately, and I was so happy. I was so happy that I cried, and he loved that.
When King Kong proved to be such a huge smash picture, did that change the kind of roles people were offering you? Did you?
Oh, it certainly did. I just one after another, I got roles in scary pictures.
Yeah.
I don't know, you call them horror or science films, but one after another, yes.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of movies? You said you've seen King Kong just 5 times, but do you go to films a lot? Do you still enjoy movies?
No, because I've been busy doing that.
Oh, of course, yes. Well, the book is called On the Other Hand, and it's the story of Fay Wray and her life and times, and it's been an interesting one. Thanks a lot for being here. Enjoyed meeting you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take a break, so we'll be back. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons are going to sing a song. Stay there.